Hello, Lawrence Grayson back again for shortformvideo.com with the fourth and final part of this multi-part After Effects tutorial series called Desecrated Cathedral. Now we're, as you can see, we're pretty much on the home stretch now, but there's just a couple of things that I didn't get the chance to do in the previous tutorial that I'd like to do now. The first of which, if you remember, we created this fog layer which sits between the cathedral layer and the exterior wall. That's currently a 2D layer. I want it to be a 3D layer, so with the fog layer selected, just check the 3D layer properties box and hit P. And we're just going to move it on the Z-axis so it sits more comfortably between the cathedral layer, which is on the 0 point, and the exterior wall layer, which is on -150. So if we just bring it forward to about -100, that should do it rather nicely. And it'll just add to that sense of parallax we get as we move through the scene. Now, next thing we want to do is just parent that layer to the cathedral so that it moves in relation to the rest of the objects. So grab the pick whip and drag it onto the cathedral layer, so when the cathedral moves in space, the fog moves in relationship to it. Now, you may be asking yourself at this stage, why am I using motion and rotation keyframes on the cathedral layer instead of just doing the simple thing, which is adjusting the camera. And yeah, to be fair, you could just use the position values of the camera to achieve the same rotational effect. But what that won't let you do is position objects out of relationship to the camera. For example, if I take the position keyframe and move it from -150 at the beginning of the timeline to -200 at the end of the timeline, I can create an exaggerated sense of motion as though we're getting much closer that bears no resemblance to the camera motion. So it's all horses for courses at the end of the day. If you want to do it with the camera, that's fine. If you want to do it by parenting objects to each other and using rotation and position keyframes, then obviously that's fine too. Okay, so that's the housekeeping done. Let's crack on with the final part. First things first, I just want to tweak the fog layer a little bit. So select the layer, hit Ctrl and D to duplicate it, hit P to bring up the position values, and we're going to move this duplicated fog layer until it's in front of the exterior wall layer. So a value of about 260 should do it. So -260 on the Z-axis, and just drag the Y value to drop it down, and that'll just give us a secondary layer of mist, give it that kind of volumetric feel that adds to the sense of depth. Next thing we want to do is enhance the depth of field effect that we've already created with this soft exterior wall in the front. What we've got here is a fairly deep building, but it's all in fairly sharp focus. Now, you can be pretty sophisticated here and use the lens blur effect and create some depth mattes to isolate specific areas you want to be in focus and out of focus, but I'm just going to fake it on this occasion. So with the cathedral layer selected, in your effects and presets panel, type CC radial blur and just drag that onto your cathedral layer. Now I'm just going to solo this layer so we can see what we're doing a little bit better. So I'm going to change the type to fading zoom. I'm going to set the center point so it matches the center of the front wall, and I'm just going to increase the amount, nothing too serious, probably about 3 should do it, and that keeps the front of the cathedral in fairly sharp focus and just adds a little bit of blur to the extreme edges of the screen. So as you can see, when we've got all the layers in place, we've got a slightly blurry front layer, nice sharp focus for the point of interest in the middle, and the objects at the edge had that slightly softer feel like they would do if it was a true 3D object. Okay, final stage to the visuals. I'm looking at it and thinking it's good, but it could be better. Unfortunately, I have this piece of stock footage called Golden Leaves 2, which you can actually download from shortformvideo.com. It's actually under the free motion backgrounds section, so search for Golden Leaves 2 and you should find it. If I drag that into my project, you'll see it more clearly. Obviously not quite what we're looking for, but with a bit of work we can make it do some fairly cool things. So it's actually the area on the right hand side of the screen that I'm most interested in. So we just need to isolate that, and we do that by drawing a mask. So with the golden leaves layer selected, grab your pen tool, scroll out, give yourself a little bit of room, and just create a quick garbage mat around the outside. Now I'm going to solo this so we can see what we're doing a little bit better. We will probably need to animate the mask path, so hit M to bring up the mask properties and make sure the mask path is selected. Hit the stopwatch to create a keyframe, and we're just going to scroll forward just to see how that tracks. We're losing a little bit at this point, so I'm just going to grab the selection tool and tweak that point on the mask. Now you don't need to be too fussy here. Okay, I could probably make that a little bit better, but that'll do for now. Okay, next thing I want to do is just reverse it, because I want it on the left hand side of the screen and not the right. So I'm going to hit scale, S for scale, uncheck the link, and just turn it into a negative value of -100, and that'll just flip it on the horizontal axis. I'm going to bring up the mask properties again, twirl them down and feather it quite significantly, so we'll take it to probably about 30 pixels, and that'll just ease off the edge of the mask. Okay, so now we just want to remove the white and keep the leaves, so type Luma key into your Effects and Presets panel and just drag that onto your leaves layer. I'm just going to solo this again so we can see what we're doing. Select Key Out Brighter and just increase the threshold until you see the leaves pop into place. Next thing we want to do is just soften off the edges, so increase the feather, probably to about 15. Might actually take that up to a value of 20. Type CC Toner. Drag the CC Toner effect onto your new leaves layer and just set all the values to black. Just unshy that, and let's see what we've got. Okay, that's working pretty well. But the one thing it isn't doing is tracking with the rest of the image. So select your layer, turn it into a 3D layer, hit P to bring up the position values, and we'll just move it right to the front of the image. So probably about -300 should do it. And parent it up to our cathedral layer so it moves in relation. I'm just going to shunt it off to the side a little bit because we don't want it taking up too much of the screen. Okay, so I create a quick round preview. This is how it looks. Now I'll be putting the project file for this up on my website at shortformvideo.com, and you can also get the golden leaves motion background from there as well. The one thing that won't be included in the project file are the sound effects, because I don't have the rights to do so, but you can download those from partnersinrhyme.com, and you'll find them in the free weather sounds. Okay, so that's it. I hope you had a lot of fun following this. I certainly had a lot of fun doing it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.